scoop on all things internships. You know, we've been around the block, and we definitely have a few quality tips for y'all, so stay tuned.
Yeah, so as Katie said, today we're going to be talking about internships, tips on how to get them, and then tips on how to make the most out of your internships when you do have them.
Yeah.
And then for reference, Katie and I both went to the same school. We went to UBC. Katie graduated. I still have a couple semesters, but pretty much done almost.
Yeah.
We've both done internships. I'm doing one right now. Katie has a full-time job, but you've had like a couple, right? A few. And then same with me. I'm on my third one right now.
Yeah.
So we're going to be speaking from our experience. For more background, Katie is studying business, marketing specifically. I'm in the arts program. I'm doing an interdisciplinary degree, so multiple subjects, and then a minor in business as well.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about kind of our paths and the different roles we did, how we got there, and then our experience there and like the tips that we felt helped us make the most out of them. So let's start with tips on how to land internships. This one can be tough, especially for your first one if you don't have a lot of experience. So Katie, do you want to start us off?
I'd love to do the honors. So I'd say kind of the biggest tip that I always give to my students, because I am a TA, is just to kind of, you know, don't go the traditional route. Like, don't just apply through a portal or through LinkedIn or through Indeed, and just think, okay, submitted my application, it's done. Like, you should preemptively be, you know, targeting your cover letter towards the HR team, finding people on LinkedIn and personalizing that message to them. And then also connecting with them and trying to look within your network. You know, maybe you have a friend of a friend, or your parents know someone through this or that, and connecting with someone directly so that you can network and try and have a coffee chat and see, you know, preemptively, is this even the right spot for me? And, you know, is this kind of an early in? Because given how competitive the job market is, if you are just applying kind of as the average Joe and you're not really doing anything to personalize or be creative or network, it can be super hard to stand out.
Another tip, and this is how I got one of my most recent jobs, the one that I'm in right now. So I work at a tech firm on the sales team. So I applied to this, or I was looking into applying to this job, but I went on LinkedIn, searched up the company, and saw if I knew anybody that worked there. And it doesn't even have to be someone you directly know, but maybe someone you have a mutual connection with. In this scenario, I knew somebody that worked there, not someone I was super close with, but still a connection. So I reached out, I said, hey, this is crazy. Like, I was looking into this company, saw you worked there. I see you're on the team that I'm looking for. Do you mind if we like chat a little bit about your experience? So spoke with that person on the phone, 15 minutes, put the application through. They gave me some tips for the interview, and yeah, we got in, which was obviously great.
Yeah.
But even if you find someone that you have a mutual connection with, you can always reach out, say, hey, I know we both know so-and-so. They told me you work here and I'm looking to applying there. Do you mind if we connect for a little bit just so I can hear your experience? And LinkedIn is a great tool for that. Mm-hmm. Honestly, you can find people at companies and people are more than happy to speak with you. And not to make it scripted, but go in with a plan. This person is giving you their time, even if it's 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Go in with a plan. Usually I would structure it as kind of telling them why you were interested in applying, what you're interested in learning about. And then have some questions for them prepared, like some things that you actually want to know, and always end by saying, thank you so much for your time. Like, this was super helpful. I'm really excited to apply.
Yeah.
Tip number 2 on how to find an internship. Obviously, you can go ahead and Google internships in whatever city. Hundreds will come up. You'll go on LinkedIn, hundreds will come up, and it'll also say like, oh, 1,062 people applied to this.
And you're like so daunted.
And that's super overwhelming. People apply to jobs. Like, a lot of people apply to postings. Doesn't mean they're all high quality applications. Like, a lot of them are not great, so they'll just automatically get filtered out. But one great way to source jobs that have less applicants especially if you're in university. We're assuming kind of the demographic is mostly university students. Looking to your university's job boards. So usually most schools have an online job portal or job board. Looking through those and finding some jobs that companies might be posting specifically to these portals, like university portals only. So that already gives you a better chance, especially if you're looking for that first one. And then another one, which I've had experience with, is joining a co-op program or an internship program at your school. So UBC has a co-op program. I joined the arts one. For my first job, I sent through like 20 applications. They were like, expect to do at least 20, could be even more. And I was like, no, it's going to be way less than that. No, it took 20 applications. Yeah. Took 20 applications to get the first one. It seems like a lot. In retrospect, it's not that much, especially considering I had no experience. So sent about 20, eventually landed one, and it was a company that solely posted to the co-op board. So less competition.
Another thing that's kind of piggybacking on that one is, so in second year, myself and a few friends competed in a big case competition, the L'Oreal Brandstorm competition, and we just kind of were doing a bunch of competitions at the time and just thought it would be a great kind of fun thing for us to do and just be innovative and to network with some people. So we did this competition, not really thinking too much of it, won the first round, won the second round, and then in the second round we got to compete at the L'Oreal head office in Canada. So we were there, we were doing tons of networking and just really kind of showcasing like our unique personalities and just not taking it too seriously, just kind of looking to meet people and kind of have fun with it. And then so through that, winning that portion, we did kind of have a few interviews and then secure an internship at the head office in Montreal through just our experience with Brandstorm. Obviously, they look at it as an amazing recruiting opportunity because, you are kind of put in a situation where you do have to solve a problem and just, it really requires you to think outside the box and be super innovative and be creative and show that you're kind of intelligent and hardworking and can produce really good work. So it's a great way for them to recruit.
So next, once you've secured that internship, you want to make the most out of your time there. Obviously, typically internships are pretty short, like 4 months is the typical one, sometimes 8 months. I've done a few of those, but still it flies by, obviously. And you want to make the most out of it outside of like completing your work. So these are going to be some tips on how to really make an impact outside of like the actual work that you produce. You can start us off, Katie.
All right. So I would say my top tips, again, going back, working at a big company, I worked at an agency, I worked at a small business and a startup. So kind of a few diverse experiences. And I'd say the most consistent thing that came up was just, you're there as an intern, you're there to learn, and people really do kind of take the time to coach you. So for me, it was just kind of looking to my 3 managers at L'Oreal, for example, and really just kind of coming in with an open mind and not being like, oh, I'm a solder student and I know a bunch of things. Like in comparison to the experience that they have, I knew absolutely nothing. And I just really was kind of a sponge for knowledge and tried to take every opportunity I could to work with them.
And in terms of coffee chats and making connections with people that you work with, that's another really important part of the job. Like, of course, you'll have your work, you're completing your work, and that won't always be something that people will remember you by, just like someone who did their work, unless I guess you did some special projects on top of that. But people will remember you if they enjoyed working with you, if they liked talking with you, if you tried to reach out to people on the team and have those coffee chats, like they'll have a really good impression of you in their minds. So I think just taking a step back and looking at the people you're working with, trying to get to know as many people as possible, and just having conversations that don't necessarily have to do with the specific job. Like, how did you get here? Where are you looking to go with this?
Yeah, and final tip kind of there on how to kind of make the most of your experience, I would say, is, whether you're working from home or you're in office, it is kind of super important to work smart instead of work hard. I think there is always like that, oh, I have to like stay at the office late, or I have to do this, or I have to be in the first one in there. It really just is just about kind of working smart and showing that you can produce really high quality work. So, you know, a lot of people would just kind of like sit at the desk and like wait until the last person left, but that's just such a waste of your time, and it's not really doing anything. So I think, you know, do the most you can in a day, and obviously, you know, maybe don't leave until your main boss leaves, but but I think it's just kind of, you know, put in the time, show that you're a hard worker, but don't just kind of stay at the office to stay at the office. Work hard, play hard, and it's all in a day's work.
Have conversations with like whoever your manager is, and just let them know like what your goals are for yourself in the future, what kind of fields you're interested in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say, looking at my specific experience, I'll use that as an example. I came into a sales role, which like I've really liked so far. And I think I could see myself working in for a couple years, but not as a long-term career. So that's something I've talked to my team lead about, and he was like, okay, what are your goals? Like, what are you interested in? I said, hey, I'm interested maybe in the marketing side of things or the project management side of things. And your managers want to see you doing well. They want to help coach and develop your
100%.
skills. So he set up some meetings or coffee chats with me and people from the marketing and the project management side of things. So that's just another awesome opportunity to know more people in the company and just have more connections there that you can always come back to.
And it's definitely not, I think people get nervous to be like, oh, you know, I showed them how much I wanted this role in sales, and now I'm kind of coming back on that. You know, it's an experience, and like, it's not for everyone. You dip your toe in it, you know, in the short term, this is great. I'm learning so much. I'm making such an impact, but in the long term, having that transparency with your boss and saying like, this is where I really want to be, and this is where I think I'm going to thrive the most and add the most value to the company, and always kind of come back to that, how am I adding value to the company? No manager is ever going to think that's a negative thing.
But that's everything that we have for now. If you guys like these types of videos, let us know in the comments. We're happy to talk about our experiences a little bit more and share some more tips. But other than that,
definitely make sure to leave us comments. If you do have any comments, we're happy to message you guys personally and email and kind of just help through the experience. It definitely can be a daunting one, and it can, you know, especially in the market with COVID and everything, and there's so few jobs and so many changes in the market, it can be super disheartening, but you know, the magic will happen. Keep grinding.
Keep grinding, keep pushing, don't give up. Like I said, I applied to 20 jobs and I got one pretty much the week before the job was supposed to start. So it happens. Just keep pushing, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you guys later. Thanks so much.
Thank you.